stand at this time so that we can have a pledge of allegiance and prayer. I'm going to ask Commissioner Freeman if he can lead us in that invocation.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Everyone bow to his, please. Our Father God, thank thee for this day that you've given us. Thank you for the citizens that have attended this business meeting, for the citizens of Gates County, and for the state of North Carolina. Thank you, God, for blessing us in so many ways. Please keep in our hearts, keep in our thoughts, keep in our prayers to Mr. Jordan as he continues to fight with his illness. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Gates County Board of Commissioners for September 4, 2019. Our first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the August 7th, 2019 meeting. The minutes have been corrected. Are there any additional corrections?
No, ma'am.
If not, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as corrected?
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made, properly second. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. There are some changes in the agenda. Under tonight's delegations, we're going to have a report from Billy Wynn, emergency management, over like conditions in here in the county for the next few days. And then at the new business, remove the resolutions number 12 for the Gates County liquor sweep. We're going to deal with that at our next meeting, about the date and all. And under closed session, the only issue to be discussed is a personnel issue. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as adjusted?
So moved. And I'll second the motion, Madam Chairman.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, the agenda is approved. At this time, we would like to recognize Brandy Jordan, who's the Gates County Nursing Home Community Advisor Committee. Speaking for that committee. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just would like to draw your attention to the letter dated August the 16th, 2019 in your packet. This letter is from our state long-term care ombudsman's office, and it is regarding the recent resignation of 5 of your Gates County Community Advisory Committee members. It was discussed back in 2016, not long after I had actually become the ombudsman for this region. The issues that existed, or the conflict, not really issues, but the conflict that existed between the Gates County Community Advisory Committees and the Gates County Church Ambassadors. And our state ombudsman came here at that time, and I think met with several members of the county, as well as the CAC committee members, myself, and discuss those conflicts and the need to separate the two. By regulation, they have to remain separate. For a period of time, that was something that we were confident was happening, and within the past 6 months to a year or so, we've kind of seen some instances where we're not really sure where the CAC duties end and the Gates County Church Ambassador duties begin. That was very concerning to our state ombudsman's office. Both positions are very, very important. The members who serve on both parties are very, very important. Commissioner Dean.
Thank you, ma'am.
So to continue, we were concerned, we as in the state, long-term care investments office was concerned that both committees, while very, very important and doing a service to the community, were in conflict of one another because they were both performing many of the same duties. So we had a meeting with our elder rights specialist from the state office, myself, the CAC program coordinator, Jasmine Wilson, and the CAC committee members on July the 29th and discussed these conflicts. And all CAC members were told that they would either have to choose whether or not to remain as community advisory committee members or choose to continue to serve as Gates County ambassadors. They could not do both because of the continuing conflicts of interest. Those conflicts of interest were outlined during that meeting. That is also included in your packet. It is in regulation. So the next day, we did receive a fax from 5 of those 6 members, the 5 that were serving as Gates County ambassador members as well, resigning their positions. That was a voluntary resignation. We had hoped that we could have a better outcome. They have certainly all been very, very good advocates. They've served for a very long time, all of them, and we appreciate their service very much. But unfortunately, the regulations guide what we do. So that was the outcome, and I just felt that, as a county, you deserved an explanation since these are county appointed volunteers. So at this time, we have 5 vacancies on the Gates County Community Advisory Committee, and 1 member serving. So are there any questions?
Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this information with us. Always nice to have information for us and read for, so that if there's questions in the community, we can answer. I do appreciate it. Does anyone else?
No, ma'am, again, I reiterate what Madam Chairman said is quite in depth as to what you've been able to provide us, and completely understand.
And again, we do think there's members who are no longer serving. They did a wonderful service for Gates County and your residents who are living in long-term care here, so they are to be commended for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Billy Wynn.
Good morning. I wanted to take this opportunity to bring a briefing for Hurricane Dorian to the commissioners this morning. We met yesterday with the control group. Gates County did go into a state of emergency yesterday at noon. What that does is allows us the opportunity to use state and federal resources and allows our resources to go across county lines and to assist others as well if that need arises. The track of Hurricane Dorian has been very problematic to predict. I'm not coming to you as a scientist at all. I'm just kind of going through all of the data that we're getting and making some recommendations from that. Excuse me. But we are in contact every 6 hours with the National Hurricane Center via webinar and conference calls. The latest one this morning was from 6 o'clock, and the wind speed that we should anticipate Thursday night into Friday is in the tropical storm force range. So it's possible that we can have 30 to 60 mile an hour winds during that period. I do want to remind you of the few summer thunderstorms that we had this year. We did have some trees down in those events, and this should be more prolonged, sustained winds than what we had during that time. Although we are going to have some tropical storm force winds, there's possibility of having some higher gusts, and those gusts are what tends to cause the tree damage, and with the tree damage comes power outages and things like that. At this stage of the game, we do not anticipate anything like our threshold storms. Our threshold storms being Hurricane Isabel with wind damage and Hurricane Matthew with water damage. We're not anticipating anything like that, but we are urging our residents and guests to maintain vigilance, to be prepared to take care of themselves. We have a meeting today at, conference call today at 12, and then we have our county meetings at 3 o'clock today to make some final decisions. But more than likely, we will have a shelter open during the height of the tropical storm force winds for people to seek refuge. What I get a lot of questions about, and I wanted to kind of inform you kind of where we stand on that. Gates County is not an evacuation county. We see that on the news. For Tidewater, Virginia News, they do a lot of evacuations because they're oceanfront or bayfront. The governor announced a barrier island evacuation for all of North Carolina yesterday. We're not going to issue that kind of evacuation because we don't have that kind of threat. We don't have rising tidal storm surge water. The water that we would have push up the Chowan River is not going to affect large populations of people. We do have people that are in low-lying areas, and they know they're in low-lying areas, and if they are in low-lying areas, we're providing them a place that they can seek shelter. However, it's a wholesale evacuation is not what we do here. We do ask that people maintain their medications, maintain drinking water, and sustainable food for themselves and their community. I think it's very important that we stress looking after your neighbors. That's kind of the community we all grew up in. We want to maintain that sense of community atmosphere. So if you have an elderly neighbor, check on them, make sure they can get what they need to sustain them through the storm. So this time it looks like our peak period is going to be Thursday night into Friday with 4 to 7 inches of rain potentially, and winds in the tropical storm force gust range. I do caution everybody that I talk to. Hurricane Florence did not do what it was supposed to do once it made landfall. It was supposed to scoot through Gates County and be gone, and it stopped in the southeastern part of North Carolina and just meandered for days. Hurricane Matthew was supposed to turn. It didn't turn. It came straight right into Gates County. So we're not out of the woods. I do anticipate some sort of effects, but we do not expect to experience catastrophic storm effects. Be glad to entertain any questions you have. You guys are invited to our 3 p.m. meeting in this room if you care to join us. But I will entertain any questions you have.
Commissioner Drew?
Mr. Lynn, just the declarations that were given just for our citizenship, would you mind letting them know that what that entails?
I will. Historically, there are some things that we can prohibit when we do a state of emergency. We chose not to prohibit any of those things. So really what it means is it opens up the door for federal and state resources to cross our county lines without any kind of hindrance. So we have not prohibited the sale and consumption and possession of alcohol. We have not prohibited the possession or purchase of firearms or ammunition. We have not instituted a curfew. Those are things that will be done following a disaster if conditions would warrant. But that is not what has happened during this event. So this is to say it's a basic state of emergency kind of simplifies that, but it doesn't bring any prohibitions with it.
Thanks, sir.
Really?
Commissioner Jones?
Thank you. Everybody does use social media. I don't know if you got plans on Code Red. Can you elaborate on Code Red?
Yes, sir. We do have a Code Red system, a public alert system. Citizens have to sign up for that. There's been a citizen sign up link on our county website since its inception. If anyone would like to be a recipient of those phone calls or text messages or emails, they can go to Gates County. Google search Gates County is the best way to find the website. Go to the Gates County website. There's a Code Red link, and that Code Red link will let you sign up for that service that we provide.
And if I may, we cannot search to see if you're already registered.
That's correct.
So if you call the county manager's office or any other office, no one can search to see if a citizen is on there. So if you don't think you're on there, you just need to sign up again.
That is correct. Due to the privacy concerns that have gone on with internet things recently, they will not allow us to search the database. So if you're not sure, sign up again.
You said you weren't a scientist, amongst the other hats that you wear, but I think it was Matthew a few years ago. I remember Commissioner Jordan being real adamant about guardrails on 32 when we lost one of our citizens due to flash flood. Water level's lower now than...
Water levels are substantially lower. We're holding more water in our swamps than southeastern North Carolina is. Predicted 4 to 7 inches of rain, so there is little likelihood for flash floods like we had during that. Just as a point of measurement, during Hurricane Matthew, we were getting 1 inch of rain per hour. So we were having 14 to 20 inches of rain, depending on where you were in the county. And we're looking at 4 to 7 inches. So 4 to 7 inches is a really good storm amount of rain, but it's not an unprecedented amount of rain. So I do anticipate ditches being full. I do anticipate sections of the road going underwater temporarily, but I don't anticipate long-lasting effects such as what happened there. Due to our geography, water flows kind of in stages here. It goes from the fields to the ditches to the swamps to the creeks to the river. And once that swamp filled up in Sunbury, it was a long-lasting thing. But we don't anticipate that happening this time. All track dependent. And I have to be a good meteorologist to say it's track dependent.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Jordan.
The sites that people will be able to go to, will it probably be the schools?
Yes.
The points of distribution, you mean, to pick
Yeah, I
up
think
water?
you meant the shelter.
The shelter? The shelter site will be at Gates County High School. If the capacity is reached there, and our capacity at the high school is 227 prior to landfall, we can't use the gymnasium at the school because it's a large span building, but we can house 227 there, and our backup is Buckland Elementary School because of the construction of that building as well. The capacity at Buckland is only 80, I think.
Kids got high school at Buckland.
Yes, sir.
But they'll start with Gates County High.
The high school will be the first shelter. Once 3/4 capacity at the high school is reached, then we'll pull the trigger to open the second.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I think I expressed this all day. I'm only concerned with the putting in so many new culverts in the county that some of them could be not very stable, that the soil could wash away.
Right.
So be careful if you drive, don't drive through water.
Don't drive through standing water.
Yeah.
Moving standing water is what unfortunately people succumb to too often.
Okay. Thank you.
Scientifically, that was very well put.
Thank you for coming, and I know we're all praying that it continues to weaken and stays like the sea.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
And we're thankful for our first responders too. Okay, unannounced delegations. First one is Norman Carter.
Good morning, and I thank you for allowing me to present what I have to present to you. I'm not a public speaker by any means, so please cut me some slack.
State your address.
I'm sorry. I'm Norman Carter, 1503 Highway 32 South in Hobbsville, North Carolina.
Thank you.
Yours territory.
Yes. Very familiar with it.
Yes, ma'am. My concern that I want to address this morning is that somehow with this new thing with waste management and the fees for the waste management, we have been charged double what a normal fee would be. Normal fee is $240 and they're charging us $480. Now, the only rationalization that I can put behind that is because we have two addresses there. Now, the two addresses, it was originally a one address address. We had the additional address put on for the storage area that we have where we store people's automobiles and boats and that sort of thing. And there's no dwelling on there other than a pole barn. And I don't feel like we should be charged double the waste management because it's the very same property, just put in the address. I have a paper that I got from the title deed that shows the property. This is the only copy of this that I have, and I'm not used to doing this sort of thing, otherwise I would have a copy for everyone. But the part where it's circled is the 1505, and that is the storage area that we're using the 1505 address. We create no more waste having two addresses than we did when we were serving under one because it encompasses the same property. And I'm not sure how to go about changing this, but I think this is a good first step.
Well, you have two addresses. Is one for you?
If I may,
Okay, go ahead.
we've spoken with him and with the other Mr. Carter, and this has been put into the pile for the new tax administrator or the interim tax administrator to review for several reasons.
I'm aware of that. Okay.
I was informed that you had been told that, but yes, it is in, the interim tax administrator will review your property.
Okay. Yes, I'm done.
And we know that there are some problems with some of the listings, and we're trying to work through them, but be patient. We are down only two people in the tax office right now, and so it takes a while to work through because you've got to go through the history.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much for hearing me. Thank you.
Mr. Ranger?
Earl Roundtree, Folly Road, Sunbury. How many times have I said that, Ray?
Quite a few, sir.
You know, Ray has been here a right good while. Henry, it sure is nice to see you back. You and I don't have a battle to fight with anybody else today or among ourselves. But for the people here before Linda hits me with the gavel, I did with you being here. Sometimes Henry were on different sides. Most of the time we were on that same side, and I have really appreciated sometimes you voted down, and that made me mad, you mad, but Henry and I have always been on first name basis, so if you wonder why I'm not calling him Mr. Jordan, he calls me Earl, and I call him Henry. Sometimes we forget who our names are. I realized about a month or so ago, I was at the school board meeting in the closed session, and I was having trouble talking. And that's a bad thing when Earl Roundtree can't talk. But I got through with what we wanted to do, and later on I found out why I couldn't talk. But the reason that this first part of my program today, before we get run out, I find it a little bit amusing, but I have a way, and I hope that you understand this. To be honest is to be realistic and believable. You know, there are people that always come in and say, oh, don't you look wonderful? Well, you done looked in the mirror and you know they're lying. Why don't they say something like, there's something wrong with you, you don't look as good as you did? Be honest. So all of you that have been here and know me when I come up here to talk, it's not because I dislike anybody. I like everybody. Well, no, I won't say that. Like all of y'all. But if I disagree, and I feel like the county should have a spokesman. So, well, Jack and I talked on the phone about a week ago. He called me up and said if I was still living. He didn't know whether or not I said, what are you gonna celebrate or what? But anyway, Ray was here. We were talking about the water department and taking money from the enterprise fund. Well, I knew I was 100% against it. And so it became necessary to turn the dogs loose. And I think in turning, and some of y'all probably won't understand this, but anyway, it has to do with Facebook. I actually went online and did a video, and in about 48 hours, it was 229 people watched that. I think about 190, according to Jack, called him up. So we got that straight. But what I was bringing up real quickly is the fact that I'm leading up to something that Linda had. I told Linda right here, she was standing right here, I said, this is one time you're 100% right. And Jack, and I mean, there was no hard feelings between Ray and Jack and but I just told him, I said, I think you're wrong. And Linda, you're right. This was after the meeting. No, it's not recorded, hopefully. But anyway, the bottom line is the fact that when it came up to budget time, Linda voted against her own budget. And I knew why, but at the same time, the reason I'm here today is on camera to the citizens of Gates County and a small group of us. I want to thank publicly Jonathan Jones for changing or adding to that budget and the school board money. Because in my life of dealing in politics, I've never seen $50,000 do so much good and make so many people happy, Jonathan. And all I have heard is just great news. But unfortunately, 99% of the people out there don't even know why it's like it is. So I just wanted the public to recognize that, that you, and I've told Jack and I've told Ray, I'm not sure whether Henry was here, I don't think so, but I told Jack and I'll tell Ray now, you had to have votes with you. And we appreciate it. I have never seen a program at a high school turn around in a few weeks as the band program did at the high school. And I got guts enough to say that on camera because I know it as a fact. But 2 band members said they had been in it for a while, and they said, we learned in band camp, Jonathan, said we learned more in 3 days at band camp than we did all last year. So the reason I'm here now is to thank y'all and thank Jonathan. And the reason I know Jonathan, I wasn't involved in this. I got 1 minute on my watch. But anyway, I'll check it. I know you're going to hit me when it comes out. But anyway, your timer went off when I started talking. But anyway, beside the point, that's all beside the point. I'm here. I got something else to tell you later on. But that's why the number one thing here. The program turned out good. And the fact that Linda used to work for the school system for about 30 years, I was a little disappointed in her vote, but it passed. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, moving right on to, there's no one else signed up. The administrative reports, we'll start with the county manager.
This is for July the 20th through August the 16th. The historic courthouse work continues. Thank you to the Gates County Historic Society for purchasing the lights for the front of the courthouse. We're working with internet and phone providers to determine the best for the site. And James Andrews actually stopped in my office yesterday. He is anticipating all the interior work to be completed by the end of, and pending weather and ability of his staff to get here through this week, and then they will begin following week or two, once again dependent on weather, on the French drain on the outside and the sidewalk going along Church Street. Auditors began work on the fiscal year 19 audit with a visit the week of July 29th. On July 31st, I attended a required meeting regarding the CDBG NR grant. On August the 6th, Chair Hoffman and attended the Albemarle Commission meeting of chairs and county managers, Various topics were discussed. A representative from the Office of Recovery and Resiliency and the Department of Transportation will be invited to the next meeting to discuss flooding and drainage issues. On August the 13th, Chair Hopper, Ms. Outland, and I attended the basic financial workshop for North Carolina rural communities in Williamston. Presentations were made by the Southeast Rural Community Assistance Project, USDA, and the Local Government Commission. On August the 16th, the Merchants Mill Pond Advisory Committee met to discuss Mill Pond Day, which will be October the 19th. Additional property has been purchased by the state for the Mill Pond. The canoe trail by buoys will be replaced this fall. The trail to the canoe launch will also be brought up to ADA standards. Do you have any questions?
Any questions from commissioners?
Busy time.
Everything gears up, summer vacation is over. Okay, moving along to tax report.
She is not in here, but you do have that.
We have this, and I think we need to say that the tax department is two ladies that are anybody have had a lot to do the last few weeks or less, and they deserve a lot of credit. And also our clerk, Melissa Lawrence, has been 9 days to help out because they've been so short-handed. And I do appreciate the public. You have concerns. You know, sometimes they have to do some research to get an answer, but they're working through the pile. And there are some property errors that are on the bills. Just work with them, and we'll try to get everything straight. Okay, any questions about this tax report? I see that we received $15,000 plus from Zacchaeus from delinquencies, so that is a plus. Okay.
There are tax refunds that are included in your packet.
Yes, we have a number of tax refunds if you'll get to your packet. And first one is refund number 1 is for $173.41. And if you look, it is a matter of the car was traded in for no one, and they had to turn in. So the paperwork is attached, as you see here.
Are you doing these separately or individually? You have the option to do them separately, and you have, or you can do them individually. I mean, individually or together. It's already been a long morning, okay? You can do them individually or as a group.
Do you want to do it as a group? Okay. Refund number 2 is $145.51. Once again, the
vehicles in Virginia.
Virginia. It's not in North Carolina. Refund number 3 is where vehicles were turned in and turned in, so they could buy one vehicle, and there was a refund of $306.67. And I believe there's another one, it's 4, and that one is for $112.62. This vehicle was sold. Each one has all the paperwork attached to it. Are there any, what is the pleasure for?
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the refund as requested.
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, that before us, we're getting ready to vote on refunds for DMV for refunds number 1 through 4. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, any all department reports. Going through these. Mr. Hedgepath, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but are we in good shape concerning the storm?
As long as we have.
Okay. Okay, any,
nothing other than, Madam Chairman, I'd like to report to the board that I had an invitation to the White House and attended that on August the 8th for a meeting from 0800 till 1630 involving national security, homeland security, Department of Justice, as well as USDA.
Okay, well, I'm sure you represented us well as a state. As you see in the back of the package, there are administrative reports. We have the reports from the fire departments from Muir, Popsville, and Sunbury. They are supposed to give us semi-annual reports. So we might need to check with Gates and Gates.
They have been contacted multiple times.
And reading in the paper, I have a brag on Popsville that rating was very good this time. We were very proud of those guys. Okay, anything else? There's no public hearings. There's no old business. Okay, first item on new business is a surplus request. That is not in my packet.
It's in the back,
Oh, so you got, they got to the back, okay.
behind the business.
Okay.
Let me not see it.
This is a van from Getz. It was purchased with state and federal funds, and it is bet the life expectancy, and it's had transmission issues. We're recommending that it be sold for a minimum of $3,000 with the option to lower that as if necessary.
Okay, it's a 2013 van, and it has almost 200,000 miles on it.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve that, that's what's up, I'm saying.
I'll second that, Madam Chair.
Motion been made second to put this van from Getz on surplus. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, it is approved. Now we have really 4 resolutions concerning fishing and marine issues that has been of concern. That is one of our major industries in North Carolina, commercial fisheries and fishing and all, and they are concerned about some of the new regulations that are coming, or that want to come in. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chair, new business number 10, that actually passed by them Friday. I don't know if we want to,
Because
see
the
with
way
it,
we
or-
met,
yeah, the way our time it is,
I know that on some of the boards, like on the Evermore Commission, those people like Hyde and Dare are very passionate about this issue with the commercial, because it is a major source of revenue. And the legislation has already been done.
so we still want to pass it, just saying we're opposed to it.
That the issue now is we want to pass it for moral support
Right.
or not. That's up to the board.
I'm okay with it, I just, when I was doing research.
I realize that too, and it's,
I too, and certainly supporting the Board of Commissioners of Pamlico County for the House Bill 483.
I guess for more support in case it gets, who knows, it might get way later, something could happen, I guess.
You want to do all 5 of them together?
Let's do all 5 of them together. I know there's one, we had to change a word in one of them from Pamlico to Gates. Okay.
Yeah, one needed to, change.
486.
Yeah.
That's something that Melissa can talk, correct
Madam Chair, can I make a motion?
To do all five.
Yes, ma'am. I'll make a motion that we, yeah, I was trying to work because they're all opposed. Support, so, yeah, let's combine all five of them. The resolution asking Governor Cooper to examine the current membership of the NC Marine Fisheries Commission, the resolution opposing House Bill 483, 486, 1063, and the resolution opposing proposed amendment 2 of the Southern Flounder Fishery Management Plan.
You did that very well. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
You did that very well too, Mr. Freeman, Commissioner Freeman. In this discussion, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Okay, we'll take care of that today. And I believe that is all of our new business. At this time, do we have any citizen comments? Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
Sure.
Well, I thought I'd be polite, but I was gonna come up here anyway. No, I couldn't, time. Check my watch. Anyway, one of the things that has come about, and I know Linda doesn't do social media, and she's told me very point blank more than one time she doesn't do it. I know at both ends of the table, Jonathan and Natalie do look at Facebook. And Natalie sometimes posts some very important things on Facebook. I had quite an experience, and I hope I don't take 60 seconds to say this, because I got involved with some people whose names that I can't pronounce in the part of the county that I don't, we talk about a bedroom community. I found people that are true bedroom community. They absolutely know nothing about what's going on in Gates County. And for gosh sake, don't you ever try to explain it to them, because it don't work. But social media is here. And as I mentioned earlier about the water department and the enterprise fund money, and the one other thing that I will mention, and that had to do with our animal ordinance. I had asked the chairman to form a committee, and I had some people that I thought we could put our animal ordinance together that would be acceptable to everybody. That idea was turned down, and as it turned out, here again, social media, we were able to fill up the courtroom. So it's here, whether you like it or not. And it's going to be here. And the thing to do is to pay attention to the public. Because I, as an individual, and I don't consider myself a troublemaker as people do, but I am a political activist. I have been one since 1952. I'm proud of the things that I've done. Another one of my former colleagues that I knew years ago, just his obituary is in the paper today. All of my friends, I call them friends across the state, are getting like me, and they're dying off one by one. And so I'm not really involved anymore. But it is a thing that you're going to have to deal with and look at when you make your decisions. Because I and other people, and I will just throw his name out, of course, has become sort of following behind me, and I'm following behind Mr. John Willie. And, but I have a young man who's a lot younger than I am, who's coming along and staying very active in social media and county politics, and kind of grooming him to take over. Mr. John, I'll close with this. How many of y'all remember Mr. John Willie outside of Linda? But Mr. Willie, on his, I guess you might say almost his dying bed, I went to see him in Greenville at a nursing home. And he was always calling me up or talking to me about what was going on in the county and wanting to know if I, if I was going to write another letter or something. And so the last thing he told me is, he said, Earl, he says, It's not easy to do, but would you try to keep going to commissioner meeting and looking after those people? Somebody's got to look after them. So I'm here to look after you, not to make you mad, but just to make sure you don't make mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, commissioners' comments, starting with Commissioner Jordan.
Yes, it's good to be here today. I'm glad to see all my citizens out. And glad to see that you're concerned about what's going on in the county. Because Gates County is a wonderful place to live. And we gotta try to keep it that way. I do have one comment to our county manager. The grants that we received by housing, are we administering any of those as a county?
All of
They're
them,
going to the housing committee.
all of the money has to be administered through the county. That is not an option with the state or with North Carolina Housing Finance Association.
Okay, so we're basically getting information from the housing committee, or who needs what? That's
Not going forward with the NR, the houses have already been identified. And those were houses that were identified from applications that were received from the 16 and the DR. And then if those houses do not qualify, because they'll have to fill out some of the paperwork again, and they'll have to reassess their house. And if they do not qualify, then we'll advertise, and they have to go through the process. And the the 19, the paperwork that was agreed to at the September meeting said that all the applications would go through Melissa Lawrence, and she would send them to Mike Barnett.
Okay. And I don't know what it is we get.
For the NR, 750,000. For the 19, I can't remember if that's 150 or 175,000.
Okay. Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Certainly, again, reiterate the fact that we appreciate the involvement of the citizens that contact us, that come to see us, and certainly that attend these meetings. I want to recognize again Mr. Roundtree for bringing forward the fact that budget session is always hard. We make a lot of enemies. We make some from each one of us to another, and certainly to some of the department heads, but that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to find a budget and to make that budget equal as it should be. But I want to thank my fellow commissioners, my colleagues, for working on that, and it was a difficult budget, probably more difficult than one that we have touched before. So decisions are to be made, and when we make those decisions, we look forward to that being a decision that is equal to each one of us. So thank you.
Commissioner James.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's good to see Commissioner Jordan's better half today, because that means that he's usually tackling on with her. Good to have you here today, Henry. Billy Wynn mentioned the Code Red for the storm. Nobody knows, I don't think, what it's going to do, so if you haven't signed up for Code Red, do so, and make sure you get your neighbors signed up. That way, if something does happen in the county, you can get the info out to you and to them. It was nice last weekend to be in Gates, your neck of the woods, Commissioner Freeman. The new dance studios that opened up, AJDC Dance Studio, has now got their own location in the county. They were operating at the VFW last year, but she has grown and has a lot more students this year than last year, so she's right there on Highway 37. I'm excited for my daughters to be able to start taking dance with her. And last but not least, thank you, Earl, for the kind words. I'm glad it was on camera, so you can't go back on it at some point. So there's proof of it. Hopefully the tape doesn't go missing. But just a reminder, due to the weather, the high school has a football game tonight at 6:30. Come out and support the football team, the band, the athletic department buying concessions, and these are your friends and neighbors and loved ones. Come out and support these folks. Thank you.
Okay, I also would like to thank each of you for coming and sharing your thoughts with us. It's always a pleasure to see you, see some old friends each month. at the commissioners' meeting. As the storm approached, as I reiterate what the others have said, be safe, check on your neighbors, sign up for Code Red, do everything possible to, make sure that everyone comes through the storm safely and with the least amount of damage as possible. It is always great to see Commissioner Jordan and Mrs. Jordan as well, and we hope that things continue to go well for y'all. As we want to have to go in closed session in just a couple minutes, but be with all our citizens of the country who are in the face of the storm, from Florida all the way up to, and of course, the Bahamas and not in the United States. But we need to keep them in our prayers, keep the first responders in our prayers, because they risk their lives as well to help save others. Have a safe trip, keep safe, and we'll see you at our night meeting in a couple of weeks here. Okay, at this time, do have a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
And in pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318, 11E, 6, personnel.
So moved again.
Second it again.
Okay, and any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We'll take a 5-minute recess so we can clear the room. Now, I entertain a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made, properly second. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, at this time, Commissioner Jones?
I would like to make a motion, Madam Chair, to instruct the county manager to proceed with offering a contract to an interim tax administrator and discuss the closed session.
Okay.
And with the latitude,
To make the,
was that also part of the motion? With the latitude, the county manager has the latitude to.
That was discussed in closed session.
yeah, the latitude is discussed in closed session.
And I second that motion.
Okay, a motion's been made and properly second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I don't think we have any discussion about that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Thank you.